Hi everybody, welcome to the review from Is It Cinema Escape on YouTube. It's 11:11 p.m. Make a wish. I just finished watching the 2022 horror film Smile. Before I get into the review, I want everyone to know and understand that any review that I have done in the past, whether it's recorded here on YouTube or writing on my Facebook or typing for the newspaper, every single thought that I put into my work is simply my opinion. I don't want anyone to come to the overall conclusion that whatever it is that I'm saying is simply the gospel. There's not some finger on the wall that is uh, painting out these red words that is truly the gospel, and I'm just speaking it for everyone to just readily accept. I'm not doing that. I just want everyone to understand that this is simply my opinion. However, you enjoy the film is completely up to you, and if you didn't like it, that's fine. If you did enjoy it, that's great too, because we all are different and we all have our own opinion when it comes to the entertainment that we experience on our own time. So that's what I want to go ahead and get out the way at the beginning. And as per usual, this review will be spoiler free. Smile is the directorial debut of Parker Finn, his first feature-length film, and it takes a different perspective on the horror genre. And I have to say, 2022 has been quite a memorable year when it comes to horror films, and everything that I have watched from, say, Black Phone, Nope, Barbarian, everything about these films have really just transcended and reinvigorated the horror genre. And when I first saw the teaser trailer for Smile, the overall perception of what I experienced was very unsettling, disturbing, and it piqued my curiosity. I'm thinking, what is this? And again, since it revealed next to nothing about what the story was telling, I was like, man, this looks pretty interesting. This is very disturbing. I wonder what this is all about. I simply thought that when I saw the trailer Smile, it was just okay. Maybe that's just a fake title, and the real title of the film is going to be revealed at some point. The trailer brought more in depth and detail to the story, and then when I saw the title for Smile, I was like, okay, so that's what it's called, and I'm even more interested. Uh, the reviews that I listened to and watched and read all spoke about how good and how great the film was. So I felt that it was my obligation as a film critic to go ahead and experience it for myself. And because I thought, usually there are certain people who will have this perception about, well, how great a certain film is, and before you, sometimes it's when it's receiving critical acclaim, depending on whatever it is that they're praising about. Sometimes it makes you a reach a puts you into the anticipation level of having such high expectations. Then when you watch it, you're disappointed. So when I watched this film, and again, the story is not wholly original because there are films like The Ring, It Follows, that more or less have the same initial concept, but this takes those similar concepts and flips it upside down and gives it such a much more menacing, horrifying, and unimaginable experience that it puts you on edge. Because when you think about the physical features of a smile, it's pleasant, positive, wholesome. You're not really thinking about the initial horror that might be hiding behind the smile. So Parker Finn takes something that is completely innocent and gives you that question of what is actually hiding behind the veil. And that to me is so much more horrifying than seeing a monster, because a monster, when you look at certain films and the monster shows up, you're seeing a face, you're seeing a horror, depending on whatever it is that the story is. But when you don't see it and your imagination is running wild, that to me is what true horror is all about. The pictures that is conjured within your mind. And so you have the story of this character named Rose, who is played by Sosie Bacon, and she is a doctor who operates at this emergency therapy clinic. And all of a sudden, she's experiencing these haunting images and horrific scenarios that is making her wonder what's going on within the fabric of her life. And these individuals are smiling, as you saw in the trailer, and they're committing horrific atrocities upon themselves. And then now, all of a sudden, everything that she's experiencing is following her. And the beautiful thing about this film that I found myself completely immersed by was how in the past certain very similar themes that have been used, you're able to predict exactly what's going to happen, and before you know it, the ending is just you figured it out before it even ends. This film managed to incorporate the initial questions of whether or not she's going crazy. Is she going crazy? Is she going crazy? Is all this happening? And it makes you wonder: is this it finds you in a position of questioning your sanity as well? And that's what I really enjoyed about this film as well. And she gives such a memorable, emotional, intense performance because it's really all about her. It's focusing on her mental capacity as to being able to accept it, question and understand what's going on, and that is a true work. That to me is a true work of a wonderful actress, someone who is able to convey the authentic feelings of wondering, of questioning her own sanity, and it's just brilliant how she's able to do that. And Cal Penn plays her supervisor, another doctor. And look, I love Cal Penn for the most part, but whenever I see him, I just think of Kumar from Helder Kumar. So sorry, Cal Penn, I just only see you as Kumar. I'm sorry, but from that point of view, I have to say I thought Smile was a very, very well done film. I thought it was absolutely amazing and memorable. It was frightening, and and there are jump scares. And let me go ahead and get this out the way when it comes to the jump scares. Jump scares in past horror films have always managed to build up that moment where you're sitting there and you already know that there's going to be a jump scare, but then when it happens, you aren't initially scared because you're prepared for it. The jump scares in this film are so highly effective that they catch you off guard. And when I say they catch you off guard, they absolutely catch you off guard. They are completely unexpected and it's done very well. And it got me. There are I want to say three times where I jumped. And needless to say, it caught me off guard. And it's always, I'm the type of person who is sitting there with certain horror films and I'm expecting it to happen. I didn't know when it was going to happen. I didn't know how it was going to happen. I just knew at some point something was going to occur that was going to catch me off guard, and boy did it ever. It absolutely caught me off guard, and it was so wonderfully done. And we are experiencing, I believe, a resurgence of horror film, of great cinema that is truly authentic with providing the frightening content that is absolutely necessary when it comes to cementing a lasting impression within the horror genre. And Smile, I will say, the only thing that I particularly didn't care for was that I didn't like that we saw the entity, if you will. I thought the best case of scenario when it comes to presenting the monster, if you will, is leaving it to your imagination. And perhaps to that point of view, you don't want to spoil whatever it is haunting that specific individual. And I just always believe that it's best to leave the true horror to the imagination, because the mind is the most powerful organ in the body and is able to conjure up some of the most horrific images that you can possibly imagine. And that's how I looked at it. But I thought still, despite seeing the entity, I felt it was well done. I thought it was very cool to see what it looked like, but I just would have preferred that it was more, if practical effects was utilized more in capturing the creature and the entity rather than CGI, because CGI typically tends to remove the true horror factor behind it. But it wasn't anything that truly detracted me from enjoying the overall experience, because I thought still, despite the obvious CGI, that it was very creepy. But other than that, I thought Smile was, again, another quality, great horror film of 2022. Highly recommended. I don't recommend bringing your children to it because it's quite frightening for them. It is very fun, violent, intense, suspenseful, and catches you off guard with the jump scares. So I will say, just give you a heads up on that, because you will be caught off guard. That is my review of Smile. So at the end, I'm going to go ahead and give it a 2 thumbs up, a 10 out of 10. Highly recommended. Please check it out. Let me know in the comment section what you thought about it. And I also have a Facebook that you could let me know in the comments what you thought about it. Also, I have a Discord on the Discord link. I still believe that is on the channel that you could click on and join if you want to talk about the film or whatever other films that are in production or that hasn't been in quite some time. But that is my review of Smile. I hope you guys continue to do well. Take care and peace out.